So students, our first chapter is about network operating system, and we have already studied about the computer network. And the networking stands for a practice of linking two or more computing devices together in order to share resources, exchange of files, or allow electronic communication. Means we'll need at least two computers to create a network, and the purpose of creating a network is to share the files, resources, data among two or more computers. So, reading ahead, that a computer network has become the integral part of every organization, and these computers may be located at different locations within a building. So, now we are discussing about the geographical distance of a computer network. So, it may be a very small network, which is called a PAN or a personal area network, in which we can connect the all local computers within a room, and then we have another local area network in which we can create a campus area network, a network of computers within a campus area, and then the next type of network is a MAN. It's a metropolitan area network, in which all the computers within a metropolitan city are connected to each other. So all the computers within that geographical area can share the data and resources among each other. And the biggest form of network is a WAN. It's a wide area network, and the computers all over the globe are connected, can be connected with each other, and the size of the WAN is the biggest of all. When all the computers can have access with the permission of each other, and they can share data and resources. When I'm talking about resources, it means all the other networking device apart from a computer, and we can share those resources also. And those resources may be a printer, web camera, or a plotter. Then we can share these resources while being in a network. So network is not only for sharing a data and the information within a computer, but we can also share the resources. And here we can read that a computer network is a collection of interconnected, interdependent computers and peripherals connected by communication facilities for exchanging information and sharing resources. So resources could be any hardware apart from the information we have in our computer. So here we have a diagram of a computer network. So here you can see that internet is also a form of network. It is the network of all the smaller networks. So network of network is called an internet, and we can share all sort of devices. It may be a printer. Here you can see a printer, a scanner, then information within a desktop PC, and see, all these devices are needed. This is a Wi-Fi router. It is used to connect the network wirelessly, and all those devices are required to create a network. So, what is the need for a computer network? Why do we need a computer network? So, it means we can also call it a usage of a computer network. Now we are talking about the usages. Why do we need a computer network? So, the first point is sharing of resources. Of course, while being in a network, when we are sharing our data and information among the computers, we can also share our hardware devices like printer, scanner, CD-ROM, and fax machine. So these devices can also be shared. We can, being in a network, we can use each other's this hardware while in a network. So, and we have to use some application for this also. Using a computer network, an expensive laser printer can be shared among various employees in a department of a company instead of giving each employee a separate laser printer. So it would be a cost effective process, because now if we have 10 computers in a room or a lab, then we don't need to have a printer for all of them. We can have two or three printers if all are engaged in a printing work, and then we can share those printers as a resource in a network, so all of them can use the same device being in a network. So this way, it may be a printer or any other devices like fax machine or a scanner or CD-ROM. So we can share it. We can share the hardware resources as well. Next is the next purpose is to connect and communication. Of course, the main purpose is to communicate. Uh, Network connect computers and user of those computers. Once they are connected, it is possible for user to communicate with each other. So communicate means we can send and receive data, information within these computers. And since the modern organization are widely dispersed with offices geographically apart, networking provide communication among them. So it would be easier for us to send and receive data and information within these computers who are all connected. So we can share data, information, and it helps us for communicate. Next is improved performance. Networks performance can be increased for some application by distributing the computational task on various computers. So now when the data or the work is shared among the computers and the users on this computer, so we can have a improved performance. Cost factor is the another reason, because, as we have discussed earlier, that we don't have to go for individual resources or individual hardware for each computer in a network. So within a few resources, we can manage a big network. So this will give us a better price performance ratio. Next is reliability. So once being in the network, the information we get or we share, it is always a reliable source. A file can have copies on two or three different machines. So if one of them is unavailable due to hardware crash, the other copies could be used. So we can have multiple copies in different computers which are in a network. So uh, we can have a backup facilities. So next is the flexible working environment. The use of networking allows a very flexible working environment. Employees can work at home by using terminals attached to networking into a computer at office. So it will provide us with a flexible working in an environment. Means we have an example of network video conferences where the individual, they don't have to go personally, and at the ease of where they are, they can attend the meeting. So we can perform our tasks in a very flexible manner. It is all because of the networking facilities. Without this, all of this cannot be done. So it provides us the flexible working environment. Next is the disadvantages of networking. Besides the advantages of network, there are some disadvantages like data security concerns. Means once the data is been shared in a network, there is always a possibility of being uh, security. There are some security concerns. So we need to uh, have the proper security of the data, because once it is shared, um, it can be accessed by some unsolicited users also. So we need to protect our data. So it is one of the concern. And next is network hardware software cost. While installing the or creating a network, it consumes some investment in procuring the hardware and software for creating a network. So uh, when we need to set up a network, we need to spend some money. So it must then it little expensive when it comes to creating a network. The next is threat of virus. So being in a network or sharing an information, there always be a threat of viruses. All the computer who are in network are more viable and prone to the threat of viruses, and it is not secure as a standalone systems. Standalone computers or systems are those computers which are not in any network. They work alone and they do not have access, and then they don't provide access to any computers to have any sort of communication with them. So when we are in a network, there are always threat of viruses, but then we can have a proper antivirus installed in our computer, then we can protect it. But being in a network, there is always a um, little bit of threat of virus uh, attack. So next is illegal use. Network brings certain problem like illegal or illicit material, software piracy, and illegal use of computer resources. So uh, being in a network, there may be cases or a chance of software piracy. Software piracy means when our software or the data are exposed, and some unsolicited or unauthorized users start using our data and use it for some destructive purposes. So we have studied about the computer network, the usage of a network, and disadvantages of computer network. All these disadvantages, when we talk about disadvantages, actually these are not a disadvantage. We have some demerits. So there is a limitation when we are going beyond the restriction, and when we are having a facility to access the network. But then all these disadvantages can be checked by having a proper tools or devices. So for today, uh, the topic we have studied, I think, is little clearer for you, and you are required to make a notes of it. And time to time, I'll send you the um, content and the notes for this topic so that you can prepare and have a note for your top study. So students, that's it for today, and we will continue this topic in our next class. Till then, stay safe and God bless you.